I'm like a pressure cooker, dude. I'm gonna make a diamond out of this guy, you know?
Bing, bang, boom. Red light is on. Good day, fine sir.
Good day to you, good sir,
Guten
and to
Morgen.
the
Right.
rest of you out there. Good morrow. It is gonna be a faster podcast today. We are coming in hot, but really the fun part is we talked about this off air, but I'm waiting for these cables to show up for my mic, and we might be able to have this thing
Little
running
baby
again.
upgrades. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
and
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it connects right here and it
Mhm.
stays solid. But for today, we have the slightly less awesome audio one more time, hopefully, and this is
It's
it.
okay. It's okay. Our listeners follow us for the content, not
It's because
for the audio. Well, maybe for
they
the audio.
care.
They
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
Exactly.
They're the
Oh,
tried and true
by
audio.
the way, before you go into your appetizer, just a heads up, we are like creeping up on. I know for our YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. I'll put the little thing there later. But we're coming up to 100,000 views. So pretty big milestone,
Ooh,
right? And as far as short form and the kind of these longer podcast forms, we're coming up to like 500 videos posted. So
look at us
been doing
go.
it, man. I know. I just checked out. We've been posting almost a little bit over 2 years, or coming up to 2 years now. So it's pretty exciting. Follower counts are creeping up slowly. So yeah, if you like the content or spread the word, just give us a subscribe and a like. That helps
Give
out
us
the
that
algorithm.
subscribe.
The YouTube's algorithm. Yes.
See, and we need that. We got to beat the algorithm. And here's the deal, everybody. Okay. We can split it up, but I don't know if you remember or if you were listening to the previous episode, but I'm just
Mhm.
going to tell you, I'm just going to challenge the world out there right now. Okay. Um, I told you about the mystery thing in my wall. What is that? And I said, hey, 100 likes and I'm going to tear out my
We're gonna
wall,
tear
figure
down
out what it
the
is.
drywall. There you go.
And Rob was laughing because he's like, 100 likes, man. That's like, it's going to happen next week. And I was like, now I know. We'll see. Well, guess what, y'all? Hasn't happened yet. And so I want to reiterate the challenge, but also I'm going to make an adjustment, okay? Because the
What's the
likes are
difference?
great and all,
Yeah.
but the guys who are listening, I don't think they're into the likes and whatnot, right? You know what matters? You know what matters for the algorithm is that subscribe. So
Yes.
when we get another 100 subscribers, that's all it takes, guys. Just another 100 subscribers. I'm gonna tear
Hey,
my wall out and we're gonna find out what's inside.
it's gonna be the most epic podcast of just live streaming Travis tearing down drywall. So
So tell me what's our
where are we at? I can tell you
where
where
are
we're
we
at.
at?
We are at 38. So once we get to 138,
Boom, baby.
right?
See,
138.
and I know some of you out there might be like, well, you're like tripling your followers right there. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but with
Yeah.
100,000 views,
Come
I
on.
mean, we'll take like
It's easy.
1% of that. Right? We'll
Yep.
just take
Yep.
1% of that. We don't need that.
Yep. It's a
Yeah.
small percentage, really. So, let's get on it, y'all. If you really want, hey, if you're one listener out there and you really want to see me have to tear a hole in my wall because I'm a man of my word,
Yeah.
just go send the link of the podcast to
Just
100 of your friends and
just
tell
send
them
it
to
to all
click
your
it.
friends.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. That's all
That's
you
the way
have
to
to
do it.
do.
One way
So,
to do it.
yeah. So, I mean, guys, I'm telling you, right when that happens, 138. I'm ripping
You
my
know what?
wall.
Maybe we'll figure out the YouTube live stream by then. I will. How about this? That's Travis's part of the little challenge. My part is once we get there, we will live stream our podcast that day as he puts down drywall. So
Yo. Yep. I mean, I really want it to be treasure. Like somebody hung a little
I hope so.
satchel. I
Yeah.
can just like when I hit it, I can hear it in there and it
It
sounds
just
like a
kind
little
of cuts
satchel.
and then like gold coins
Gold
fall
coin.
out. That would be the best
Absolutely.
case scenario.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And it also could just be a wire. And I made the biggest hole for no
Just
reason.
a loose wire, a wire that came loose. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't I just really can't imagine why it would be a wire though, because it has like it's in a part of a wall where there's no reason to have anything go there. It's just like an extension wall. Like so,
Maybe. Maybe it's a
Now,
wall that leads to Hogwarts. We don't know, right?
yep.
So
So
we'll
we'll
see
find
at
out.
138. We'll see at 138.
138. Okay. All right.
What's it
So,
feel like tomorrow?
hey,
And then we're
hey,
like, man, now we got to do this week. Okay.
that's right. That's right. You guys, everybody get excited too. Next week, we have another special guest joining
Yes.
us. It's gonna be
We're
fantastic.
ramping up for the summer months. We got some guests lined up. So it'll
Yep.
be a nice chat, another parenting chat with another dad out there. So it'll be good.
And if you know a dad out there who you think would be awesome to hear their
Yes.
story or something that they do that's cool, let us know. You know,
Yeah. Check the
let's have them on the
description.
show.
Check the description. There's the email address there. If you follow us on Instagram, we have an email address as there as well. Hit us up and we'll get them on the podcast.
We have like a confirmed guest list at this point of like 20 people.
Mhm.
So I'm pumped. We are lined up, y'all.
It's going to be a good summer.
Heck yeah. So anywho, it's time for some snacky snackies. All
Okay, what
right.
do we got?
Time to get into a couple little things. All right. So number one, I have mad respect for fellow creators and like our creative people in general, you know,
Mhm.
like and my shout out today goes to a guy on Instagram. He's Big Cole. That's his tag. He introduced tools that don't work for guys that don't work. And it's he's adding to this wall all of these
That is awesome.
tools that are not actually they don't work.
Yeah.
Like literally. I mean, so it's perfect marketing. But it's um like an axe that's like in a circle. So like he
Mhm.
made like a handle that's like a circle, and then the axe is on the
Yeah,
on the
on the
other.
inside. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. One of them is like a hammer that's just like with a rubber handle. So like it just
it's
doesn't.
flimsy. Yeah.
Yeah. So he made the world's longest hammer. It's like 10 feet long, the handle, and then there's a hammer at the end.
At the end.
So you got to check it out. Big Cole, thanks for gracing us with your internet presence and your creative works. So,
Yeah. And
uh,
it's that open loop. It keeps you coming back. Is what's the next tool, right? What's the
yeah.
next
Oh, I
tool?
mean, and it inspired me. I was like, ooh, I want to make one of these. I want a tools that don't work wall. Come on. So,
I have more of a project that never got finished wall. So that's a little bit
yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could fill a whole wall with that for sure. Oh man. Don't get me started on that. I'm gonna stop right now. The other snack I have for you
Hmm.
is uh libraries. Let's talk
Hmm.
for a sec about libraries for a
Gotcha.
moment. Uh they are clutch. I have had a library card since I was, 5 years old. I remember back in the day getting my card, and we would go to the library every once in a while, pick up some books, and so I grew up with it. It wasn't like a all the time thing, but I feel like I remember going in there enough times. Like
Hmm.
that was a thing. And I really do not want things like libraries to die. Um,
Agreed.
so I mean, really, the shout out goes to Deb. She took the initiative on this to get the cards and get going with the kids like on a regular basis. And so
Hmm.
we literally have a shelf in their room that's just for all their library books. And
Mm.
so we just like cycle them out, run through them, read a bunch of stories, and then send them home back. Um, and it's really fun. I mean, they get a kick out of it. There's a good spot in both the libraries that are closest to us that we go to. They have like play areas, so
Hmm.
on hot
Ours
days
is
or
cool.
whatnot, you can go in there. I'm not gonna lie, when there's a lot of people, that stresses me out. Like as a dad, when
Yep.
I'm
Same.
solo, I'm like, no, 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 no. Let's go to the like abandoned park over there. Then all you have to worry about is like the drug dealers, and it's fine, you know?
You're just minimizing the variables. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can keep my eyes on like one or two dealers. When there's like 8 million kids, it's too
It's a lot.
much.
It's a lot of kids. Yeah. No, libraries are clutch here. I remember when the girls were young, it was like our go-to summer activity where we'd
Yeah.
go at least once a week, right? Pick up 4 to 5 books. But now that they're a little bit older and they get books from school, we don't go as much, but it's still definitely on the Rolodex for summer, right? Because during the summer, especially once they start reading chapter books and they get into series, right? Like I remember growing up reading the Hardy Boys, like that was like, hey, we need to get
Yeah.
every single book. And
Classic.
so, yeah, so my olders are getting into kind of series where they're like, they finish a book and where's the next one? It's at the library. Got to go check it out. So it's still in play, just maybe not as much. Also, another thing about our area when they were younger is the library over summer offered like lunches, like hot lunches, hot dogs, and stuff like that. I think it was like
No
on
way.
Friday or Saturday. So it was another way to kind of get families in there, right? To read more, but also there's some food and snacks. So that was another nice thing about our library.
Yeah, I mean, there's just I think this is changing about our culture. Like public services, like less and less people use them, or there's like this stigma about it that
Mhm.
people don't trust, or maybe they're, I don't know what it is exactly, right? But um there's so much that is available. Like,
Mhm.
why not put your own tax dollars to use and utilize them, right? Like, there are
Mhm.
so many cool programs that are free that you can experience. And so it's kind of fun. It's fun. It feels good and right to like utilize that. To,
Yeah.
go to the splash pad and play with the kids and then run to the library and pick up some
Yeah.
books.
I think it's one of those things about making sure that we're still quote unquote motivated as parents, right? Because I think with convenience nowadays, it's easy to stream online or even read a book online, right? It's easy to play in your own yard versus going to a public park, right? Instead of like we have the chili cook off coming up, right? Like in where we're at. But it's easier just to like, well, we can just order food, right? And so we kind of slowly creeped in as like our generation becoming parents with all this convenience. Whereas I'm sure our parents like we're going to the library because there's nothing else to do. Like there's no other options we have here, right? If you want
Yeah.
quote unquote entertainment came in a book. Whereas right now there's just so much quick kind of dopamine hit stimulus where it's making I don't want to generalize, but I've felt sometimes where it's easy to become lazy, right? Because like, oh well, the kids are entertained, they're fed, they're socializing through messaging their friends online versus actually hanging out with friends. And you mentioning this kind of reminds me to kind of step back and be like, hey, summertime doesn't mean full tech time. Like, hey, let's engage with sports, set up some play dates, use that time to get outside because during the school year, it's very easy to kind of surrender to that laziness, right? Because oh well, kids got back at 3, we got to cook dinner by 5, so yeah, here's your stuff. So
Yeah, well, it's the laziness, but also I would say it's certainly a comfort thing, right?
yeah.
It's sometimes it's comfortable to go with what you know,
Mhm.
and we're becoming like the like siloed generation,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's this claim that like, oh, social media is like we want you to be more social, but it's really like
It's doing the
anti-social
opposite.
media.
Yeah.
It is antisocial. Like you said, you have to fight against so many easy options in order to just kind of stay. Yeah, you have to go out of your comfort zone, really,
Yeah. Mhm.
to still be in community. And
Yeah,
so
it
I
takes
guess there's
effort to be in community, right?
that's an entire, this is becoming less of a snack and more of the main
I'm
course right
so
here. I
sorry.
like where this is headed. Because I mean, really, the you have to fight. It feels like so much today in order
Mhm.
to actually be in community with others. And right, and I'm coming from a standpoint. My belief is that we were made for community,
Mhm.
right? Like we are. It's essential.
Mhm.
There's reasons why people like go on shows and they have to pay you like $1 million prize to like try and be alone for as long as possible because
Yeah.
it's just not the way
How
we're
we were
wired.
programmed.
Sure, you might
Exactly.
be an introvert or you might not, be filled up all the time by with people all the time, but like there's still those intimate connections that we have with other people that are
Mhm.
necessary to thrive as a society. And now you have AI that's out there like, "Hey, I you can talk to me." And
Mhm.
now it's like, "Oh, I don't even have to talk to a person. It's just safe and easy to talk to, the chat instead because then I'm like validated and
I know,
it
but
tells me what I want."
I'm a little sketched out by that too because we don't know what's feeding the AI, right? Because it takes prompts and it takes learning.
Yeah.
So, whereas like we're hanging out and I know enough about you that I'm not worried about like this hidden agenda program that's
Yeah.
there. not to be like, woe is the world with AI, but uh, it's a piece of technology that has input, right? Someone needs to be inputting something in order for it to work. So I'm always a little hesitant about that. But it's true. Like a lot of the kids nowadays, or even families nowadays, it's easier to interact on social media and with AI because of that novelty. It's something new, right? You get that quick little hit of dopamine. Whereas, yeah, maybe it does take effort to pack up your car with some beach chairs, drive the 20 to 30 minutes to the beach, find the right tower. Hopefully, your friends make it to the same tower with their kids, setting up, right? That's all effort. And in the past, when that was the only option, it wasn't called effort, it was called hanging out, right? Whereas
Yeah.
now, whereas now, all that stuff takes effort. So
Yeah, well, and I mean, a lot of these thoughts that are fresh in my brain right now are because of a book that I'm reading. So another shout out that we got to put in the show notes
nice.
is Ginny Urich.
Mhm.
She is the author of A Thousand Hours Outside. She has this whole movement. A lot of parents out there are
I've heard of the
um,
book. Yep.
attempting to spend more time outside, and not just outside, but it's like get out. Do more things instead of
Hmm.
being in your on your screen.
Hmm.
She wrote a book recently called Until the Streetlights Come On, and I am currently reading that right now. I'm only like halfway through, but it is
That's
chock
how I grew up.
full of fantastic goodies on just the data that's out there. Like one of the data points that she shared was students these days, kids these days in this next generation upcoming, the percentage of eye contact with someone has dwindled like detrimentally. So when you have a conversation with someone, it's I'm butchering it,
No,
but
no, but it
basically
feels
there's like a
awkward, right?
percentage. Like
Yeah,
it used to be like when you had a conversation with someone, you would have like you'd be making eye contact like
exactly.
70% of the time.
Yeah.
And now it's like dropped down to like 30%. Just
Yeah.
because of the fact that like, well, we don't really have to talk with people like in person anymore.
Yeah.
And
And
so
it's that weird sensation of like you can do a FaceTime call, right? Or you could follow someone on social media and you don't have that fear because there's that weird separation because we know it's on a small electronic device. But then in public, because we don't practice public speaking or hanging out with friends enough, it becomes this awkward energy. And I would have to agree with that. I've definitely seen a little bit of growth. But I'm also wondering, and that brought up for me is like and Travis, you chime in on this because I think you can remember too. Like I used to play outside all the time until the lights came on. But one of the things I don't remember was the amount of school workload that kids nowadays have. So, like, I can't remember doing homework like in elementary school. Like, I really can't, or even maybe a little bit in middle school. But it was always in sports and hanging out with friends and doing outdoor activities. Where it's now being a dad, helping my kids with homework. I'm like, we have to carve out time for social and outside because homework takes up the rest of it. And we just had a like a welcome to high school talk, and literally the number one thing that the principal was talking about was kids nowadays bite off more than they can chew, be it because of pressure at home or pressure to get into named school. But what happens is they start taking so much work that they're doing homework till 11 o'clock at night. Well, if you go to school and you come back and do homework, right, and then you got projects on the weekend, when do you play outside till the lights come on? When do you hang out with friends? And so that all gets bypassed because almost like, well, it's kind of like we talked about this as far as fatherhood and the hustle, like, oh, I'll take a break once I make it to dot dot dot. And now the kids with competition to look good in their parents' eyes, maybe. I knew growing up that was one big thing for me. It's they're bypassing their childhood because hopefully it'll be better in the future. Well, you don't know because we're not doing it right now. So I know from my point of view, like with the girls, is we have like, hey, when we get home, this is veg time. Go out, play sports, ride your bikes. We'll play badminton, volleyball, whatever you want. And then we'll do homework. But not only that, I've had hard cutoff times with my middle schoolers. Like, hey, 3 hours is enough. 2 hours is enough of homework. This is like a Tuesday. We don't need to be doing this much homework. And we've never got kickback from the teachers or anything like that. But it's just like I noticed for me, like the amount of work I'm doing right now with my middle schooler reminds me of college. Like really the amount of, effort I'm putting into these research papers and stuff is very similar to what they're doing in middle school and high school. So I know that was a slight tangent, but just that brought
It's
it up with like, hey, why aren't we outside more? Well, because we're inside doing homework.
it's a that is a fantastic tangent
Yeah.
to run with.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I I remember I remember having quite a bit of homework in middle school and high school. I would say that a decent amount of that was because I was lazy and I was like, I'm just gonna sit in class and not do anything because I can do this later. And
Yeah, I'll
then
just do it on Friday.
yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
do it on Friday. And then
Yeah.
it was like, I'll just do it like at like 2 AM when my
Yes.
parents are sleeping. I
Exactly.
can just cram it all in an hour,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. I'll just study tomorrow for tomorrow's
I'm
test.
like a
It's one of those.
pressure cooker, dude. I'm gonna
Exactly.
make a diamond out of this guy, you know?
Yeah.
Um, it was garbage. Yeah, yeah. So all that to be said, yeah, no, the homework loads are insane. And I mean,
Mhm.
I have a wife who's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
teacher,
yeah.
and she is seeing this across the board too. And it we're very much against it. That was one of the things that we looked into when we put like when the kids became
Mhm.
school age was asking the school like, "Hey, what's like your philosophy of homework?" Because
Mhm.
the reality is, yeah, they're in school for how many hours a day, and now
Yeah.
you're gonna make them do school again for how many hours a day? Like
Yeah.
the whole point is they learn in the classroom. That's where they're
Mhm.
supposed to be doing that because they got some other like learning to do, like life
Life outside.
outside of the
Yes.
classroom, right? You
Yeah.
don't go to work for and work all day and then work
Go
when you're at
home and
home.
work. Yeah.
Like, I mean, some people do, right? But
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
exception. That's not
I was
the
guilty
norm,
of that. Yes. Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, you want to teach your kids balance. You don't want to teach them the hustle when they're a first grader. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious what that you mentioned like cutoff times because I've
Mhm.
always said, and I don't think like the our kids in the elementary school they're at are going to end up with much homework.
Mhm.
But I've in my mind as I'm preparing, here's
Yeah.
the like ignorant Travis speaking before the time has arrived for me, but my assumption is that when they if they are to be getting too much homework when they're in elementary school, like I'm gonna do it for them, or we're gonna just speed through it because it's
Yeah.
like this is not you learned it in class, right? You spent time
Yeah.
on it. Do you
Yeah.
understand it? Great.
I
If
think
you
that's the
don't,
big
let's
thing is like,
practice
you
for a little bit.
understand it. Yeah. You
Yeah, yeah.
understand it, right?
Let's
Okay, then let's move on. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And so like I am fully ready to like just
Do it.
get it done together. Like let's be over this because nobody wants to be here. Let's do
Yeah.
the stuff that matters at this point, right? So
Especially if they're tugging at your hip to go outside to play, right?
yeah,
Like, then do
yeah,
that. Yeah. So I was really appreciative of this principal because he finished by saying, like, we want kids in high school to be kids in high school. They have a whole life to do work and worry about deadlines and new projects. So he was really leaning on the parents, like, hey, parents, we don't pick your kid's schedule. You and your child pick, quote, and he was kind of like winking. He was like,
yeah,
try not to pick the really tough AP classes freshman year kind of a thing. So we had to talk, and like we've always told the girls in every kind of section of schooling, elementary, middle, and high school, it's like our priority is for you to have a good experience at school and to be a kid during this time. You have plenty of years to be an adult, right? You have plenty of years to do big projects, theses, and stuff like that. But if you are excited about a subject, that's one thing, but we don't need to be spending X amount of hours outside of school working on school because you don't work on life stuff at school, right? So we need to work on the life stuff during the life, right?
yeah, 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 absolutely. And I mean, go back to the Until the Streetlights Come On book.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I highly recommend it, guys. Read
Okay,
it, get it
we'll
from the
put it.
library.
Yes, we'll
Go
put it in the
out
description.
and get
Yeah,
it. But the concept of like, there is tons of research out there that says that they learn like important life stuff, like in the backyard,
mhm.
out doing stuff, just being kids. So that doesn't have to, that's not on a piece of paper that is sent home from school. So
Yes.
yeah, we're in the same boat here. I don't I haven't met any parent that's like No, they need to be inside. You know,
They
we make sure that we
we
give
need
them
more
at
work.
least 3 hours of homework. If they're not getting it from school, I'm gonna add homework for them, Like,
Yeah.
sure
But
that they're
so here's another thing. So culturally, at least the culture that I grew up in, like that was what it was, right? I mean, I was born and raised on the East Coast, but when I moved overseas, we saw kind of a culture hub of like even in like elementary school, middle school, with like Harvard being the goal. I'm like, these kids are 8. Why are we worried about Harvard? So parents were kind of backfilling what needs to be done. And this was like tutoring after school, musical instrument after the tutoring after school. And so I remember not seeing friends outside of class. Like class was the only time we got to hang out because I was like, hey, you want to come over, play some Dungeons and Dragons? No, I've got piano lessons from this time to this time. Then I've got math tutor because apparently my straight A's aren't good enough for math. And so it kind of built. So I got a little glimpse of that. And then moving back to the States in college, like hearing stories of kids coming up, you got a little bit of that, not so much anymore. But yeah, like I think there's a time and place for everything. But there's only one time and place to be a kid.
yeah, the moments are fleeting. Like,
Yes.
make
Yeah.
the most of it.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah. If you need a visualization of how much time you have with your kid, you can do the old like M&Ms or whatever and marbles in the jar like per week of like, so you have 52 weeks in a year, throw 52 marbles in there. Or if you want to broaden that a little bit, you can just do okay, I have 10 years left with my
Mhm.
kid before technically they go to, college or they're out
Yeah.
in the world. So let's add 120 marbles, one for each month,
Yeah.
and like, boom, that's it. You take one out every month or every week.
It's gonna
That's
go
how much
quick.
time you have left, before they're out in the world doing their thing. So yeah, boy, that's a perfect like. Oh, that's such a good appetizer. I'm just gonna get
We
more
just keep
and
snacking on it. And that happens
eat it.
sometimes, right? Where you get enough appetizers, you don't eat the main course. So I think
Yeah.
today's episode was kind of like that.
There's a restaurant right next to me that has an appetizer that is a tots and
Mhm.
barbecue pulled pork
Oh my goodness.
with like cheese and all sorts of stuff in there. It is so good.
So
Uh,
dangerous.
and yeah, it's technically an appetizer, but I get that as my meal every time.
I was just gonna say,
Oh,
I'll
it's the
just take
best.
2 of those and I'm good.
Yep. Oh, and they give you like you get to pick the big bowl or the super big. Those are the two options. I
So it's
love
like
that they didn't
your
call it
bowl or the
normal.
sharing bowl. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I just get the big and
You're
I have
done.
it
That's
2
good.
days in a row. 2 days in a row. I can bring it home and I throw it in the air fryer the next day. Round 2 tots,
Still good.
baby.
Still good.
Nothing is better than round 2 loaded tots. So get outside and think of ways that you can, yeah, but bring your kids into the world to interact with others.
Mhm.
I know sometimes it's scary, but I bet you meet somebody cool along the way, or you get a cool opportunity along the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
like one tip going into summer and something that we try to do, and this is for the dads who have like a little bit older kids as well, especially like we have a high school age kid, right? So I only have her for like 4 more years. And so one of the things to do is like during summer, and because it's easy, in my older age to be like, yeah, I can drop you off at the mall or go play with your friends. But if you have older kids that are requesting or asking you to engage in new activities outside of the house, the answer should always be yes, right? Is
mm,
because how many more opportunities is your 16-year-old really going to ask you, hey, dad, do you mind go playing some pickup basketball? Like realistically, how many more opportunities do you have for that? So if you're looking to find something to do this summer, you don't need to find it. I'm sure they're going to ask. Just say yes, right? So as long as it's outside and it's activity, say yes. So recently, Big E's been asking about badminton more, and I'm like, yeah, I I, I got to go dust off the old racket, and
the
I'll
old
find some
gear.
places. Yeah, exactly. But I cherish those opportunities to do something sport like with her, right? Because we have our middle who's like the sport player of the year in every sport. But for our oldest, it doesn't come as often. She is interested. But when she requested, I was like, yeah, let me Google courts right now. Well, we'll go play right now. She's like, no, dad, 7 o'clock at night. Like, I'm just asking about the future. So for dads with older kids out there, even if they're coming back from college, like if they're like, hey, like we want to go out to Catalina and kayak, the answer should be yes. Even though I know I'm not in the shape to kayak, I haven't been on a boat for years, right? So just a little tip for the summer.
Say yes to the adventure.
Yes. There you go. I like that. That was perfect, Travis. Say yes to the adventure.
Dads in real life sticker. Boom, done.
Yeah. And then on the bottom is 2 ibuprofens. Like that's it just asterisks,
yes.
2 ibuprofens. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Rob? How's that feel for a conversation this week?
That
Right
was
on
great,
time.
man.
You
Look
got
at that. Perfect
places to
for
go.
short day pickups.
That's right.
Mhm.
And summer is almost upon us, guys. So
So quick,
we're
man.
almost
T
there.
minus
And then you're gonna have so many opportunities to do stuff with your kids, or
outside.
yeah,
Yes,
outside. Send
outside.
them out in the sprinklers, y'all. They'll
Like
figure out
also slip and
something.
slide. Do they even make slip and slides anymore? Like that
They
was a big
do.
thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they go hardcore. You can go to
For sure.
Costco and get a $300 slip and slide. That's
Oh my
like
goodness.
a whole
Or you
water
know
park.
what? Just go to Home Depot, get a tarp. Like
That's
pretty
right.
much
Old
the
school.
hose and tarp, that's what I grew up with before
Little
there
bit
was
of
a branded name.
little bit
Little
of Dawn
soap, little
dish
dish
soap, and you
soap,
do that in the evening, and
little
they're
Dawn.
clean. You didn't even have to take a shower.
Shower and play in one. I like it.
Yep. Yep. How far can you go as long as that tarp takes you?
As long as
All
it doesn't
right.
end up in the road, we're good.
Yep. Yep. Hey, I mean, if you put cones in the road, as long as you're safe, guys, just make it happen. Hey, you know what? We're not professionals.
No, we're not gurus. We're
We're
just
just
two
two
dads
dads
in
in
real
real
life.
life. Hey, everyone.
Thanks again for joining us.
We started Dads in Real Life simply as an excuse to hang out.
And that quickly evolved into a desire to bring parents,
especially dads,
together in community through sharing stories, experience, laughs, and more.
We also wanted a podcast you could listen to and enjoy at any point in your day.
Even when the kids are in the car.
Want to take us on your next road trip?
You can find us on Spotify and iTunes as well.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to get this show in front of more parents like yourself.
Until next time.
We'll see you in real life.